All right, and we're live. Volunteer Roadshow. Another episode of Picked Off. What is this, Carter? Episode number 5? Episode number
It is
5.
5. That's
Yeah,
right, man.
it's time for the big anniversary show. We made it to 5 episodes without being canceled. So we don't have an anniversary show for you. I'm Josh Griffin. That is my broadcast partner, Alex Carter. Alex, how are we doing this morning?
Super duper, man. Ready to rock. You already see our boy NASCAR Vol in the comments.
That's
Picked Off's
right.
number one fan.
That's right. He says, "Go Vols." How you doing, NASCAR? In honor of the closing of the Corona quarantine this morning, there we go. Corona.
You got a lime?
No, man, I don't put fruit in my beer. You are what you eat, and I am not a fruit. All right. So we got a good show for you this morning. We're going to do a little current events. We're going to talk some more Vol history. Carter's going to grind his gears. We got our top 5 movie moments that made us cry. So if you want to find out what makes us squirt the tears, stick around. We'll enlighten you guys with that. We got a whack ass tradition, General Nealon's 7 memes, dumpster fire of the week, and then we're going to wrap it up. I think Carter's going to do the truffle shuffle.
What?
Yeah, I didn't tell you about that, did I? I didn't put that in the show outline.
Oh, man. Our boy Luke Thomas in the comments.
Is Luke in the comments? The old general.
Yeah,
How you doing, General?
He's going to join us this coming up Tuesday. Talk a little recruiting.
That's right. We'll be excited to have him on. Oh, NASCAR says, "I doing all right."
That's all that matters.
Luke said, "Is this Sunday on the Hill?"
Yeah, on steroids.
Yeah, so it's actually the polar opposite of Sundays on the Hill. Sundays on the Hill was very informative, a lot of statistics. It's a show for the Vol nerds. This is a show for the Vol
idiots,
the Vol frat brothers that never grew up. There we go. All right, what do you want to start it off with, Mr. Carter?
Well, hold on, Josh. You need a sippy cup for that beer, sir?
Do I need a sippy cup?
Yeah.
You want me to chug it? I mean, I'll do it, but I was kind of hoping I'd make it last the show.
Yeah, well, we better do that because I don't want you falling out and I have to carry the show the rest of the time.
I don't want to have to get up and go get another beer. I maybe next show I'll have a little cooler here, and I can just pound them. It is 10 o'clock in the morning, and we do say, this is a show where you could crack open a beer at 10 o'clock in the morning and nobody's going to judge you. But I don't know about just getting blitzed.
Sloppy.
Yeah, at 10 o'clock in the morning. Probably not a good idea to make the rest of the day go well. I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on how you look at it. Passed out on the couch is not a bad way to spend the day.
No, it's not.
All right. Luke says we're getting a commitment from a 5-star around 3 o'clock Eastern today. I know that Julian Nixon committed. He's a 4-star wide receiver. That kid's looking pretty good. But I'm interested to see who the 5-star is. Luke, if you could drop us some of that information, that would be fantastic.
Yep. We also got James Austin in the comments. Go Vols from Mobile, Alabama.
Woo!
James, I used to live in Pensacola, Florida, which is about an hour just on I-10, I-10 East. So I know those parts very well. Go Vols to you.
I got to tell you, James, anytime a Vol from Mobile, Alabama shows up, that gets me excited.
Old T. Martin's from Mobile.
Henry says, "Are y'all in Knoxville?" Pruitt had a nice, almost 20-minute interview on the Swain event this morning to begin the show. We are in. Well, I'm in Knoxville. I'm in the Knoxville area. I live just outside of Knoxville, and Carter's out in West Tennessee.
I'm in the armpit of the state.
But if you guys will go into the YouTube and hit that super chat and start donating a bunch of money to the show, we can move old Carter down here to Knoxville.
Yeah, I got to bring my box with me, though.
What box?
This box I live in.
Oh.
Yeah, I grew up with T. That is awesome. Yeah, T. We love T. Martin, that's for sure.
That's right.
So I guess it's time for some breaking news, Josh.
Yeah, hit them with that. Hit them with those current events. Dave Newcomb says we're about to get the number one outside linebacker today. I bet you him and Luke are talking about the same guy.
Oh, absolutely, they are. Yeah.
Who are they talking about? Do you know?
Luke tried to Terrence Lewis, number one outside linebacker in the nation.
Yeah, number two player in Florida. Yeah.
Yep. Former Florida commit. So anytime we can take somebody from Florida, it's a good day.
We've been stealing them from Florida, from Alabama, from Georgia. Old Pruitt knows what he's doing on the recruiting trail.
Go Gator.
Don't ever say that mess on this show.
No, I'm talking about you never seen that video that Corleen Brown? She was in Washington. She was saying, "Go Gator." Tim Tebow and Urban Myers.
Nope. I don't think I've seen that one.
You need to watch that. It's hilarious. It's Tim Tebow, not Tebow. The little stupid thing that used to have years ago.
Yeah. I got you. Go Gator. Luke Thomas says go Gator.
Go Gator.
So Luke's going to be on the show on Tuesday. He's going to fill us in on all the recruiting news. Carter and I can't really burden ourselves with research and gathering facts and whatnot. We've got too much work to do, acting like jackasses on the YouTubes. So
YouTubes and Facebooks.
So we rely on the general, old Luke Thomas, to hit us with the facts, bring in the statistics, keep us updated on the recruiting trail.
Yep, Luke's the man.
Luke is the man with the plan, and he's got nothing better to do than just follow everybody on Twitter. And Luke knows when the new Little Debbie snacks are going to hit the street before Little Debbie even knows.
Yeah, Honey Bun changed their logo. Did anybody else notice that? I was really shook by it.
Luke did. Luke knew. Luke knew about Honey Bun changing their logo 3 months before the press release.
Oh God! Pecan swirls are next.
Luke says I'm out of touch. You got that right, buddy. I am out of. I'm out of practice. I have not been. I've been trying to focus during all this quarantine stuff on some other things, and I have not been focused on sports as much as I usually am. And some other like personal, nothing bad, but just some personal things. And I am not up to date on recruiting news, although I was never really great with it. These younger guys that spend all day on social media have a much bigger following and understanding on all that recruiting stuff than I do. Life of a man that's married with 3 kids.
Which, to Luke's credit, at least Luke isn't like old Sab on Twitter there, messaging all the recruits and yeah.
Yep. NASCAR says, "What's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTubes?" That ought to be. We should begin every show with "What's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTubes?" across the Volunteer Roadshow family.
Yeah.
It's become a catchphrase.
It has. It definitely has. I mean, that's something Bobby's been doing since day one, I think.
Yeah. It has. I mean, I remember Catfish before Billy.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
And I think he was still doing. I think he was doing it then.
Yeah, he was driving his truck and making little funny videos. And do you remember the video where he was in tears because we lost South Carolina?
I do. I think that may have been one of the first videos, if not the first video of his that I saw.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, I'm feeling more and more like we're going to have a college football season. What do you think?
Well, that kind of brings us to the next part of the breaking news.
Hold on. Before we get it, before we dive too deep into the weeds with the breaking news and everything, we're gonna do something on this show that it's something new, but we're gonna carry it on every show from here on out. We're gonna award somebody on the show top commenter of the show, and it's just gonna be mine and Carter's decision. There's no criteria. Whoever makes us laugh the most, whoever gives us the most informative piece of information or the most up-to-date piece of information. I mean, I don't know. It just kind of depends. We'll know it when it hits us, but we'll award a top commenter of every show. And we're going to send that top commenter a little something in the mail. I don't know what it is. It may be, I'm thinking probably I'll snag a screenshot of Carter doing the truffle shuffle at the end of this episode, and then he'll sign it. We'll send that to you. You can frame it, hang it in your office, hang it in your man cave. Mm-hmm. How's that sound to you? No, I mean, we'll send you, I don't know, Vols coffee mug, something from Hound Dogs. I don't know. We'll figure out something. We haven't decided what it is yet, but we need you guys in the comments churning it up. So hit us with some jokes. Throw out some facts. Let us know what you think about the show. Whatever. Whoever gets the top comment is going to get that prize. What do you think about that, Carter?
That sounds good to me. I think that'll, we got some pretty clever, funny guys in the comments at all times. Big Dog Brett is in the comments. What's up? What's going on, gents?
Big Dog Brett, is that a Georgia fan?
Of course.
Trucking with Robert.
Is better than GSU.
That's right. NASCAR Vol. Trucking with Robert was before the Volunteer Roadshow. Trucking with Robert. That's good. That's
I think that he talked a little bit about football, but he's always talking about his truck and stuff.
Yeah.
Like right here's the clutch. You want to turn this? No, stuff like that. Catfish helped me get my channel going. That's cool.
Nice.
Catfish is a pretty nice guy.
Big Dog Brett says UT is better than GSU. Does he mean Georgia State?
I would think so. Unless it's Grambling State.
I would like to think we're better than both of those programs. I don't know what the heck. I mean, I don't know what happened last year with that Georgia State stuff, man. Quit bringing up Georgia State.
I had amnesia that week, so I don't know what the hell y'all are talking about.
All right, Dave Newcomb's already vying for that top commenter award. He says Josh Griffin is the most funniest social media influencer, so handsome, smart, and very informative.
Dave. Yeah, let me get a napkin for that little brown on your nose there, Duke Newcomb.
That's right, he's Duke. It's the Duke. So we got the General in the comments. We got the Duke in the comments. We got Dale Jr., NASCAR Vol.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about some current events. What do we got going on, Mr. Carter?
Well, the MLB is reportedly going to start in June. So that, to me, which, I love baseball, and Josh, I know you love baseball. That makes me feel a little bit better, maybe about football coming back and starting. We'll see. But I'm just ready for sports, anything. As far as the big sports, I don't care to watch arm wrestling competitions or PBA bowling, but I mean, give me some MLB baseball.
Have you ever seen those arm wrestling videos where like the dude breaks his girlfriend's arm, or two dudes are arm wrestling and they break the arm? Man, those videos make me cringe so bad that
Yeah.
I am cautious about watching any arm wrestling video. If you send me a video and I see, two dudes or a dude and a chick like post it up, I'm probably not going to click play on it because I hate that it just runs all over me to see somebody's arm snap like that.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. The big thing I've been seeing is the slapping, like slapping each other and stuff.
Now that I can watch.
Yeah.
I can watch people get smacked all day long. That's good. That's good quality family entertainment right there. Big Dog says Josh could give half his beard to Alex and both would look manly. There you go.
Absolutely. I just Josh can keep the gray though. I don't want that crap.
Man, it's people respect you more when you got a little gray in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll open the door for you. They'll push you in the wheelchair, all that stuff. Sure.
All right, so I'm going to mute Carter for the remainder of the show. Nope, that was good. Good one. Good on you, my friend. All right, MLB. We got MLB coming up in June potentially. Are we talking about that 32-game season? Is that what they're doing?
Oh God, 32 games. I hope it's longer than that. I mean, that would be. I thought it was going to be a little bit longer than that. I thought they were going to stretch it out to September, maybe. I mean, June, July, August, September, and play it. I think I read it like that, where it'd be about a half a season. So we'll see. They still get like in 80 games or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I'll take anything I can get at this point. And you got to be honest with yourself too. Even the huge baseball fans, like myself, I played on into post high school, and I've played from the age 3 t-ball to after high school. I played a little while, and even in the early parts of the season, I'm not watching a lot of game. I'll get on and check out my team, see how they're looking. Which, by the way, Luke took a shot at him just now in the comments. He said, hopefully Josh doesn't rig the commenting contest, kind of how his Houston Astros rigged the MLB season. Do you want to you want to dig into that a little bit? Because I got some choice words about the Astros cheating scandal.
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I know you're a Braves fan.
That's great. Chop on, baby.
And you probably feel like the Astros stole the World Series from you, just like everybody else does.
I mean, no, because we weren't even close to the World Series. So,
but no, so here's my thing. If you think for 1 minute, for 1 second, that every other team out there is not doing some form of what the Astros is doing, you're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
The Yankees were the first ones to get caught doing it. Then the Red Sox shortly after them. And now there's buzz that the Dodgers may have been involved in some of this cheating stuff. And so if you look at the teams they had to get through to get their World Series, it was the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Dodgers. So say what you want about the Astros. Yes, they did some shady stuff. Yes, they were taking advantage of a system that had not been regulated yet. There was no rule in the rule book. The commissioner had just sent out a memo telling everybody to stop the crap, and they kept doing it, and they got caught. Thanks to Mike Fiers, that he's not a very well-liked man in the Major League Baseball these days. NASCAR says bring back golf.
Yeah. And then Luke Thomas says Josh condones cheating. This is a fireable offense. I'm telling Bobby.
I mean,
and then
I'm not condoning it.
The cheating.
I'm not saying what the Astros did was right. I'm saying what they did was what they had to do to stay competitive with all the other teams out there.
I'll say this: if if Josh was not an Astros fan, let's say he was a Blue Jays fan, I really think you would not be saying that. And that's okay, because I probably would do the same thing. If I was an Astros fan, I'd be like defending them till the end of time.
Do you know why I can tell you that that's a load? Because when the Yankees got caught doing it, I didn't care, and I hate the Yankees. I loathe the Yankees. If I see anybody wearing a Yankees hat, I automatically lose respect for them. And when they got caught, I didn't care, because I played ball, and I played at the high school level. I played a little beyond that, and everybody is doing something to get an edge. I mean, everybody. Teams that we caught teams that we played against doing things that it gave them an advantage, but we just thought it was funny. And we're like, hey, that's funny, and it's also creative. Now that we know that they're doing it, then we adjust our game and still go out and get the win. And that's another thing about this whole cheating scandal is, yes, the Astros were using video to steal signs. It filled in a small gap of opportunities where you can't steal signs just naturally on the field. So they were able to get signs whenever other people couldn't. But as a catcher in the major leagues, if you know another team has your signs, it's your responsibility to change the signs. And when you're throwing your best pitching combinations at somebody and they take you yard, as a catcher, you should be catching on that is going on, and you should change up your signs. And it's not like the Astros can see the signs and just instantly know what pitch is going to. It takes a little while for you to decode what they're doing. You need a few pitching cycles before you can decode the signs. So if other teams were switching their signs up enough like they're supposed to, it wouldn't have mattered anyways. I think everybody's just kind of looking for an excuse to bash on the Astros because the media made a big deal out of it and because they got caught.
That's possible. Thanks for ruining Brian McCann for us, though.
Big Dog says sign stealing will always be a thing. It's part of the game. He's absolutely right. Anybody that's played baseball at a high level understands that. We had people whose parents were sitting out behind the fence with binoculars, stealing signs, texting them in to the coaches in the dugout. And this is high school ball. We had all kinds of things that we caught other teams doing. Pitchers that would put Bengay on their arm and use that to, get an extra couple inches slide on their slider. All kinds of stuff. We caught people doing all kinds of stuff. And do you if you remember that World Series, well, not the World Series itself, but if you remember when the Astros played the Yankees in the ALDS or ALCS that season, there was a pitcher. I can't remember which one it was. Anyway, his hat, the brim of his hat was so greased up with junk that he was using to put on the ball. It was blatantly obvious. The cameras kept catching it, and nobody was saying anything about it. The umpires didn't stop the game or anything. I think, after it became obvious, he got pulled very shortly after that. But still, there's just baseball is baseball.
Do you agree with? What's your thoughts on players juicing?
So it's not healthy, number one. So I always advocate for good health. I don't think players should be doing that kind of stuff because of what it does to their bodies and the after effects that it has later on in life. But if players are choosing to do it, and it should be either everybody has the option or nobody can do it. I don't think players should be juicing. But if the MLB is going to have relaxed rules on it, like they let Barry Bonds get away with it for so long, then everybody should be doing it. They should stop testing for it.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe that, looking back now, me growing up watching baseball, I grew up in one of the best eras as far as, hitting with Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Mike Piazza, Barry Bonds, Chipper Jones. I could go on and on and on. King Griffey Jr. And so I'm not saying every one of those guys was juicing, but there was a few of them. Obviously, Barry Bonds and McGwire and Jose Canseco. So, but I just remember how much fun it was watching. I mean, you knew every game they were going to be knocking the crap out of the ball. It just when they went up to bat. And so looking back now, it's like, well, yeah, it's pretty obvious they were all on steroids, but
there's no doubt. And the fact that some players were doing it and kind of giving a pass, and other guys were getting tossed out of the league for it. It just shows how inept the MLB is when it comes to enforcing rules and regulations. And I get it, with the whole cheating scandal, the commissioner sent out a memo that said, stop using video to steal signs. But at the time, there was no rule against it. And the Yankees were one of the worst because they have the Yes Network, and they were using that footage to steal signs. The Astros just took a TV from their video room that they've got video instant replay room. They send the videos down to the guys. The Astros put a TV just inside the dugout that relayed that video, and then they realized, hey, we can get signs from this too. So they moved the cameras around a little bit to catch the catcher, and they did some dishonest stuff. But I guarantee you they were not and I guarantee you everybody that they played in that playoff round was doing the same thing.
Paul's come up with a really good question. And with everything that's happened with the steroids and the sign stealing, it's time to have Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. It is freaking time.
Yeah, I mean, whenever he did what he did, it was a really serious offense. But if you look back, I mean, he bet on his own team to win. I mean, what if you're not betting on your team to win the game? Why are you even playing the game?
Yeah, I mean, that was a big red machine, man.
I absolutely agree that Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big Dog, I saw a comment back there. As a catcher, they had to change their signs up every 3 innings. That's pretty, and that's in my experience, that's pretty far spread out. Our pitchers and catchers were sitting in the dugout talking about the sign change up for the next inning. Wow. We changed them up every inning, and if somebody got a couple hits in a row, we changed them up again in the middle of an inning. And that's just at the high school and JUCO level ball. That's how intense it is. I can't imagine the MLB. The talent level at the MLB is so high. Baseball, what I was going to say earlier is baseball. You can only get so good at baseball.
It's true.
After, athletically speaking, physically speaking. After that, it becomes who can get an edge mentally, who can get a strategic edge in the game. And that's on the coaches, the hitting coaches, the defensive coaches. Those are the guys that win ball games because they look at the shift these days and stuff like that. People are talking about you should end the shift. You should make the shift illegal because the shift's getting so outrageous. Well, I mean, that it may be an effective tool now, but what you're starting to see nowadays is guys who are normally left-handed pull hitters, when the field shifted all the way to the right, they're popping little bloopers over to the third baseline and getting base hits and doubles out of it. So there's always going to be new things that come up in baseball, new strategies. And then it's going to take the other teams a little while to catch up and figure out how to combat those things. And once they do, then the game changes. That's what I love about baseball is it's not the same game this season as it was last season.
Yeah, so. And you're right about that. I mean, baseball's always changing. I mean, but you know, football is too. I would say the game that probably has changed the least, and it's changed some too, is basketball. I mean, there's some things that have been, you know, they have a 3-point line that they used to not have.
Catfish is on here. He says that defense playing Peyton was always trying to steal his signs.
That's why he's always yelling Omaha.
Omaha.
All these other, you know, I used to remember some of them because they were funny, like Carolina Soul Train or something like that.
Yeah. I didn't mean to cut you off there. I just I didn't want to lose that comment down in there in the comment section. It was getting kind of old.
Could you imagine how what it must have been like to be an offensive lineman for Peyton Manning, hearing all these crazy signs or, you know, calls, and you're like, oh my God, like where does he come up with this crap? Because I mean, like even Peyton Manning said, like half of it he was just trying to throw off the defense, you know.
Right.
The offensive linemen for Manning, they knew certain, you know, they knew the calls that they were supposed to change things on. But, you know, 80 to 90% of them were just bull crap. He just pulled out of his ass, you know.
So the general said that I condone cheating. That was a fireable offense. Catfish just replied, I have a rider that says Kentucky is a physical rival in football, and that's a more egregious offense. You gotta love him. In the correction, you have an editor that says Kentucky is a rival. Put some respect by my name.
That's some respect when you mention my name.
The general's getting his feathers ruffled.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's Haas says they would probably wait until he's dead to give it to him. I agree. I think when Pete Rose passes away, he'll get first round ballot.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I'd like to see old Todd Helton get in there. Because then Tennessee would have a player basically in each major sport that's in the Hall of Fame, professional Hall of Fame. We've got a
NASCAR said Private Thomas, not General. Dang,
that's
man.
What BVD. That's what BVD calls the general. He calls the General Corporal.
Luke jumped in here, you know, spitting some knowledge, and he's just getting beat up for it.
That happens a lot, unfortunately, with the Corporal General, Private First Class Thomas there. But I mean, it's just part of it. He can take it. Blue taco, ice cream, Bud Hut. Yeah. So I don't know if I've heard that one yet, but
Bernice Jones over on Facebook. I live in Florida. Sold my home in Knoxville, Tennessee. I've seen Tennessee a UT face mask. Could you tell me where I can get one?
A what?
I think she's talking about the face mask, the COVID face masks that everybody's wearing. A Tennessee face mask. I know that whenever I was in the healthcare business for 14 years, we would get them from places like Lambert's.
Yeah.
You might be able to call the Lambert's. There's a Lambert's in Fountain City. It's Knoxville, Tennessee. Bernice, you might just be able to call them up and ask them if they have any face masks that have Tennessee on them, or can they order them. If not, find you somebody who can sew. Buy and get you a little bit of fabric you can get it from Walmart. You can order it on Amazon, things like that, Tennessee fabric, and they'll sew them together for you. There was a nurse up in the OR at UT Medical Center when I worked there that would make those face masks, and she would take orders, and she did them for like, I think $10 a piece or something like that. And that was I always got my stuff from her, and she made the little surgical caps, and
you can get those elastic bands at Walmart, and you can get like Tennessee fabric.
Yeah,
you know, at Walmart too. So
just make you a square and sew the edges over, and then quilting with Josh and Carter.
Yeah. Which, Josh, we've been going for about 40 minutes. I guess we better get going into these segments, man.
I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry today. I know last show we tried to wrap it up by 11. I had another meeting I had to be at, but today we're good on time. I can do whatever. What else is going on besides MLB?
That's about it as far as current news that I'm aware of.
Were you going to mention the new recruit?
Well, we already did.
Are you going to tell us a little bit about him?
We kind of already covered. I mean, I covered everything I knew about him.
Okay. If everybody feels happy about the current news, we'll move on.
We'll have Luke come on Tuesday and give us an in-depth. He'll tell us what kind of ice cream they like and how much salt they put on their chicken. So
there you go. Luke knows. He knows what color shoelaces they prefer in their sneakers. He knows if they prefer, Lanacaid to Tinactin on their athlete's foot. He's you remember those John Madden commercials?
Good acting with Tinactin.
Boom! Yeah. Tough acting Tinactin. Yeah. That was great. That was a great era in sports.
The best thing to do for athletes' feet, right, or athlete's foot, is piss on your feet. That's true. Pee on your feet, people. It works.
Catfish says, "Keep going with the show. I don't pay by the hour."
But yeah, I swear to God, I went to a foot doctor because I had real bad athlete's foot, and back in high school, he said, "Do you want to know what you need to do, son?" He said, "Just pee on your feet every night when you take a shower or whatever, or when you hit the showers at football."
Did he really tell you that?
I swear, and I did it, and it
a
took
doctor?
Care of it. A doctor told me to pee on my feet.
Get out of here!
I'm dead serious, and it worked. I mean, I don't do it.
It's a foot fungus. Athlete's foot is a fungus.
Well, it helped.
I don't know how. Well, I mean, I'm not a doctor. I was close once, but I am not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor, but I read a book once, so it's pretty close.
Dave Newcomb says Sports Fan Island has them. Ordered one yesterday. There you go, Bernice. Sports Fan Island. That's a plug from Duke Nukem.
The best video game ever as a kid. I'll tell you that.
Yes, we were into Quake when it was on the PC. When you had like a Microsoft Windows, like I guess it was just Microsoft Windows at the time. You could play Quake.
Okay.
You remember that?
Yeah,
you're probably too young. That was back in the early 90s.
I remember
you loaded it on a CD.
Oregon Trail?
Oh yeah, well that's every kid that grew up in the 80s and 90s played Oregon Trail on a Commodore 64. That's all the schools had to teach you about computers.
The game was fun. I grew up with my sister had like the Super Nintendo, and then we had like the N64, PlayStation 1, all that stuff. And that's when I played Duke Nukem. And I remember the only reason I got that game was because I saw the cover at a Toys R Us. And I was like, oh man, this looks cool. This guy's got all these guns, and he's got like a cigar in his mouth with sunglasses. It looked pretty cool. And, of course it was like M for mature. And I did not realize that like the opening scene is like Duke Nukem going into like a strip club and shooting up the place, and you can shoot the strippers or whatever you wanted to shoot. It didn't matter.
The top comment award is going to be tough to award this guy. Listen to this. Catfish said, "Does pissing on a Gator fan cure their stupidity?" Big Dog Brett comes back with, "No, I've tried. Now I'm no longer allowed in Gainesville." Haas said, "Pissing on a Lane Kiffin shirt will get you a popular YouTube channel. Well deserved too."
Yeah, NASCAR Boss says the doctors in McKenzie, Tennessee are world renowned. Well, now I will tell you this. McKenzie, where I live, we had our hospital closed last year, so we don't even have an emergency room anymore.
There wouldn't be a volunteer roadshow if BVD didn't piss on a Lane Kiffin shirt. There you go.
That is true.
Tis true. All right. Moment in Vol history.
Hold on, before we get to that, I mean, we need to do like a 30 for 30 about the peeing on the T-shirt with BVD, because it's like a butterfly effect, man. I mean, it created everything you see right now.
Let's call up BVD after the show, and we'll do. I want it to be serious though. I mean, I realize it was a funny, but I want this to be a serious 30 for 30.
Yeah.
And we'll talk. We'll do it. We'll set up a camera inside his house, and we'll get the lighting right and everything. We'll have his banjo and his spit tune in the background, and we'll talk to him about, the moment he decided to piss on a Lane Kiffin T-shirt and the effects that it had on his life and everyone else's life afterwards. It's affected, Catfish and Billy and you and myself and the guys over at More Important Issues, Luke.
Yeah.
Thanks, BVD.
I mean, the funny thing is how, he did an interview with Fox on it, and and the guy came to his house, and this is probably, 5-6 months later, and he still had that daggum T-shirt underneath his mat at his front door, and it's like burned up and everything. And the guy touched it. Oh, it's still moist. He's like, yeah, I wouldn't touch that.
Yeah, Luke, I know Fox Sports already did it, but we're gonna do a legit 30 for 30. This is a documentary, a mockumentary.
We're gonna Volunteer Roadshow production, son.
Yeah, we're gonna top that stuff that Fox did. You mean an ashtray? All right, tell us about our moment in Vols history there.
All right, well, Hoss, you're not gonna like this, but just cover your ears for the next however many minutes. We're going to talk about the 7-year streak or 7-game streak over Alabama from 1995 to 2001. One of the greatest eras in Tennessee football history, where we owned Alabama, and that's no team has ever beaten Alabama 7 straight besides Tennessee. Auburn's never been able to do it. Florida's never been able to do it. No one's ever been able to do it, but Tennessee has. And like I said, it started in 95 with Peyton Manning down in Birmingham, Alabama, 41-14. And the final year that it was 2001, Casey Clausen, Travis Stevens down in Tuscaloosa, 35-24. And then, of course, in 2002, they ended the streak. And I blame Charlie Daniels because he performed at halftime, and then it all went to hell.
Is that what it was? So we don't like Charlie Daniels then.
Well, I'll tell you this. I gave Kenny Chesney a lot of crap one year on Twitter because, Kenny Chesney's always, he's a Tennessee fan supposedly and everything, but he did the few documentaries he did, The Boys of Fall, and he was taking pictures of Nick Saban and Tim Tebow, and then he did the Steve Spurrier SEC story, and he had the Gamecock helmet on, and I gave him some crap, and I never thought he'd respond. And he was on College Game Day for Tennessee, and I kept saying stuff to him on Twitter, and he said, well, my donation says otherwise. And people kind of got on me a little bit about that. So,
well, we appreciate that for sure.
Yeah.
The Haas, being a good sport, says it's okay. He knows it's a Vol show. He can take it. NASCAR, throwing a little shade, says we're starting a new streak this year.
Yeah, and Billy Ratliff, he never lost to Alabama. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, there's not a lot of those guys that can say that. I mean, it did last 7 years, and but that's few and far between.
Oh, Billy popped in on the show. Billy Ratliff, VFL. What's up, Billy?
Yeah.
How you doing this morning,
that's
sir?
Why I was saying he never lost to Alabama.
Chesney is a 14-teamer.
He is. That's kind of what I was saying. But you can't hate Charlie Daniels. Charlie Daniels is a big Tennessee fan. It sucked that he performed at halftime, then we got beat.
Are we calling out Kenny Chesney?
I did call him out, and he put me in my place.
So, yeah, I mean, I can't imagine how much money he's donated to the university. I donate a little bit. I donate a little bit every year. Not enough to get anybody's attention or anything like that, but I guarantee you, Kenny is supporting some aspect of the program over there all by himself.
Yeah. I mean, well, and going back to Billy, I mean, hell, Billy never lost to Georgia either. Never lost to Vandy, never lost to Kentucky, never lost to Bama, never lost to Georgia.
He got a couple sacks on Kitchens, he says.
Yeah, that's right.
Big Dog says we're in the presence. Big Dog says we're in the presence of greatness, even if he did play for UT.
Billy said Kenny Chesney asked for my autograph. Hey, Billy, Kenny Chesney wears Billy Ratliff pajamas at night, just like Catfish does.
If are there Billy Ratliff pajamas out there? Billy, can I get some? I mean, I worked for you. I'd like to think that I could get a pair of your. I want a pair of gray pajama pants that just have Billy Ratliff's face all over them.
Yeah, with him smiling.
I want my wife to see that coming at her in the evening whenever I come to bed.
He said, I don't wear pajamas.
There's so many places we could take this conversation.
Yeah, you don't have to, Billy, because everyone else wears pajamas with your face on.
I would wear Billy Ratliff pajamas. That's all I'm saying, and that's not sucking up to the boss. I would legitimately wear them as a fashion statement. So Tennessee takes it to Alabama 7 seasons in a row.
Exactly.
There is only one team that has beaten Alabama. Well, I mean, I guess Tennessee has beaten Alabama more times than any other program in college football.
Yeah, and no schools beat them as many times in a row as Tennessee has.
Right. So when Alabama fans say Tennessee's not a rivalry, I mean, I get it. Right now, it's not. Tennessee has been down. Alabama's been playing their best football in program history in the last decade. Tennessee's been playing some of its worst. But I can't wait for the day when it gets back to being when the third Saturday in October is a legitimate rivalry. When it's there's just something about it's fall, the leaves are changing colors, and they just happen to be turning the colors of the Tennessee and Alabama jerseys. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, and it would just be so much better if that game meant a lot more.
Yeah,
the Tennessee's got to come up. Tennessee's got to step up and do their part.
With Hoss being in the comments, Hoss, give us you're an Alabama fan, and you don't have to be, nice because you're in the comments here, but just tell us what the rivalry means to you right now. I mean, is it still, important to you as an Alabama fan? I mean, just tell us what you think, and then Billy says he's going to get with Catfish to get some pajamas on the website. Since he's
I'm excited about that.
Well, but there's got to be a PSA that says these Billy Ratliff pajamas will cause others around you to fumble things, stuff like that.
Yeah, will cause your wife to drop things.
Yeah.
Will cause your kids to fall on their backs.
Exactly.
All right.
We'll see you later, Billy. Thanks for coming on or joining us.
New Orleans Athletic Club is undefeated against Alabama.
That's probably a true statement.
Billy's popping out. See you, Billy. Thanks for dropping in, buddy.
Here's Hoss's comment. I'll always think of Tennessee as a rival. I respect y'all more than Auburn for sure. Well, that's kind of I'm kind of the same way, and Bear Bryant, he's been quoted a lot saying that Tennessee is the biggest game that Alabama has, and I understand that for a long time Auburn and Bama didn't play each other, so but it was Bear Bryant's favorite game. It was Neyland's favorite game. It was Major's favorite game. It was yes. I don't know if it was Gene Stallings or not, but it's just classic, man. It's history. It's a smoking a cigar after you win. It's a gentleman's game.
NASCAR says we need to get the Arkansas football program some Billy Ratliff PJs.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
It's a great game. It's a great game. I just wish that it meant more right now. And I think Pruitt's got us headed in the right direction. I mean, even Butch took him, played him close.
He did in 15. Yeah. That 19-14 game, that was that was disappointing.
Mm-hmm. Didn't Kiffin take him close to down to the wire too?
We got beat 12-10. Missed the Mount Cody. That's another BVD. One for BVD making the video about Cody. I mean,
anything else we want to say about the Tennessee-Alabama rivalry?
Yeah, it needs to be competitive again.
Well, that's what I just said. Georgia pre-flight is also undefeated against Alabama. Too bad you can't pull that off.
Like back in 1902, Tennessee went down the wire with the Tennessee School of Deaf. So
did they really?
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
I think I remember reading that actually. Now that you bring it up.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of schools like that.
All right, buddy. Anything else about the Alabama game?
I hope we beat them this year.
I do too. I just, I'll be happy with competitive. I'll be ecstatic if we beat them. That's where I'm at. All right. You want to grind your gears?
I'm thinking I'm feeling up to it. Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
We need a lot of energy from this one.
All right.
I want to see a hat thrown, a drink knocked over, flip the table, do something. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, Carter, what's grinding your gears, buddy?
You know what's grinding my gears, Josh?
What's that?
The daggum Neyland Nazis. And
the
not
Neyland
just
Nazis.
The Neyland Nazis, but any other daggum usher at a stadium. Let me tell you something. There is nothing worse than going to a daggum football game. And, of course, your tickets are at the very top of the stadium. And let's, say last year. Okay. We didn't sell out a single time. We didn't even get close, really, except for the BYU game and I think South Carolina. But, I mean, there's empty, seats everywhere. Empty seats everywhere. And I'm thinking, look, there's a big chunk of just empty seats. I'm like, I'm going to sit down there. And, of course, you're walking around, and you go down there, and then one of the Neyland Nazis in their green, stupid-ass vest has got to stop you. Want to see your damn ticket. They just grind my gears, man. And it's like that anywhere you go. I understand that these ushers have a job to do. I get it. But, I mean, the game's already started. I'm just trying to get a closer seat. I don't want to sit at the top of that damn stadium.
Have you ever shown up? Have you ever shown up to a game in the second quarter though, and somebody's sitting in your seat?
I've never been. I have never shown up to a game that late before.
I didn't say show up to the game late. I said, have you ever have you ever come to the game in the second quarter and somebody's in your seat? As in, you tailgated a little bit too long, and then you walk over to the stadium for the second quarter.
No, I don't think I've ever done that, man. Honestly, I've always just gotten there, and but the way I've always done it is just waited till after the game started for a few minutes. Mm-hmm. But then and then I'll go sit somewhere, and then there's people that do that. They'll show up at halftime or some crap, you're in my seat, and I'm like, where the hell have you been? Like, what are you just now getting here for? What's the point? Just go back to your tailgate. Go back to doing whatever you were doing. Like, what's the point of you showing up? And it's really not even that I get they're doing their job, but man, at Neyland Stadium, they are freaking, ask BVD sometime. They are crazy. I mean,
I'll be honest, I hadn't been to the stadium since maybe 2014. So 6 years. For the purposes of watching a game, I've been to the stadium. Yeah. But it's just, when you get older, man, when you can sit in the recliner, watch it on a 75-inch with full coverage, cameras at all angles, a refrigerator stocked full of all the food that you like, and a clean bathroom, in the air conditioning, there's no better way to watch a football game.
I can understand that because you are an old guy and everything, but there's nothing quite like. There's just nothing quite like being at Neyland Stadium, and I will agree with this that the going there now is nothing like it used to be. Back in the early 2000s or 2009, was still pretty passionate, but really that's what pisses me off is like, what the hell is going on with these Tennessee fans and the damn students? You students, you guys suck. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. You guys are terrible. You sit on your damn asses. You don't make enough freaking noise. You're terrible. Quit sitting on your hands. Quit getting on Snapchat. Quit getting on Twitter. Nobody cares about all that crap. Yell your asses off when you came here.
Yes.
And
pathetic. A vibrant student section is infectious to the rest of the crowd. And let me tell you why I know that firsthand. Like we discussed in a previous episode, I lived in College Station for 3 years. Went to a lot of Texas A&M football games. Texas A&M student section, if you get caught sitting down, they will throw stuff at you, call you a 1%er, and ask you to leave the stadium. The very first game I ever went to, I did not know that. I was standing up because I was all pumped up about the atmosphere and everything through about, halfway through the first quarter. And then I just decided to sit down, give my legs a rest. And somebody threw a full beverage cup, plastic cup, thank God, not a glass bottle or anything, at my head, covered me. I got up and turned around to say something to this person, and about 10 other students were stand your ass up. You're not allowed to sit down. You have to do all of they call them yells. They don't call them cheers. You got to do all the yells. You got to scream at the top of your lungs for the entirety of every defensive play. And if you're caught not doing that, they call you a 1%er and they send you on your way. Well, and that's no joke. And that's why they call it the home of the 12th man. I mean, it's a crazy atmosphere over there. And they don't have near the capacity that Neyland does. I mean, when Neyland's rocking, dude, it's the loudest stadium in the country, hands down.
Not anymore.
Well, I said when it's rocking.
Yeah, I'm just saying though, not anymore. I mean, dude, our student section is pathetic. I don't think our students. You can watch every game, and our students don't use all their tickets. I mean, it's gotten so bad that they're allowing the students to have 2 extra tickets they can give to their family, their friends that aren't students at UT. I mean, that's pretty damn sad. Like, I don't know what is wrong with our students, but I remember going to a homecoming game 2017, and granted, we were really bad. But the students, looked like they were all there, in full force. And we sat right over there by them. Mm-hmm. Well, dude, why they were there? They wanted to see who won the homecoming contest, And as soon as they found out who won, they were gone at half.
Taking selfies in the stadium stands.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, dude. They really do not. I mean, and I look at like places like Texas A&M, and so I'm thinking, okay, it's just a younger generation thing, and some of that is true. But at the same time, I look at some other schools and their students are on their feet, yelling, screaming, going crazy. And I'm like, well, what is wrong with our students? I mean, like, what is it?
Old General's taking shots at me for being an Aggie fan at one time.
Yeah, I see that. Go back to Aggie Land.
Send him back to Aggie Land. He says, listen here, Lukey. It's where I grew up, buddy. It's where my roots are. I was a fan of that program until I enrolled at the University of Tennessee. People are allowed to make mistakes and poor choices when they're young, as long as they rectify those in their older wisdom.
Well, Luke says our generation just sucks. I mean, I get that, but at the same time, man, I've looked at other SEC schools, and you're right to an extent. But at the same time, I've seen other SEC schools that their fan, the same generation, are a lot more rabid. And I'm not even talking about like LSU or Bama. I'm talking like South Carolina. The stupidest tradition in the SEC is sandstorm. But you better believe those idiots over there, they jump up and they're waving their little towels and going crazy. I mean, it's insane.
It is. It is frustrating to watch smaller schools, smaller stadiums get louder than. I mean, dude, we've got one of the biggest capacity stadiums in all of college football. It's a bowl. It's designed to be loud, and we've got schools like USC Junior and Mississippi State. I mean, they got the cowbells, but they're still louder than we are. Just hoping that Pruitt can get some fire going back in the program that will generate that kind of passion from the fan base again.
I reckon.
So, Neyland Stadium ushers. That's what grinds your gears.
That grinds my gears, and the soft ass students we got at UT.
I got you.
Soft ass students. I mean, I think they should just not even let them come to the games if they're not going to stay for all 4 quarters, or they're not going to make enough noise. I'd say, you know what, you guys, y'all don't get free tickets. Y'all want to come, you got to pay. Because I remember when they used to have the orange. You remember when they used to wear the shirts that said Orange Nation on them?
Yeah.
That's probably about the time you were going there. Yeah. That's when they were really loud.
That's what I'm telling you, man. That Georgia game, when Georgia came to Neyland ranked number 2, and we were winning 35-0 at halftime. My gosh, I'm telling you, it became one sound. It made you dizzy. It was that loud. And I was young then. I was in my early 20s, and I got dizzy. I was like, what in the world is this? I've never heard something so loud. It about blew your eardrums out. That was the last. I think that was the last great fan performance from the fan base that I've seen, and I've been to several games after that game, and we just never got that loud. I'll bet the
2015 was pretty damn loud.
I'll bet the 2016 Florida game was insane.
It was, but still not like the 2004.
I'll watch that
Florida
one from
game.
The comfort of the old recliner.
But let's do the top 5 movies that made us cry. We're going to get a little emotional here and, a little personal.
All right, we're going to bring it down. I wish I had some, violin music to play.
We were just talking about being a bunch of soft asses, and here we go.
Oh, Luke says the editor will not leave your employee alone. Catfish said, leave my employee alone. The editor will not leave your employee alone. Josh isn't in the article department. That's right. I did. I started Volunteer Roadshow writing articles just from my experience with Rivals and things like that. But it's just there's so much time demand on writing articles and hitting deadlines and keeping that stuff up. And there's a lot of time demand to build a show like this too. But the articles and stuff, I just kind of fell off a little bit because Luke was blossoming as a young writer, and I figured he could handle the workload. He loves digging into those stats and numbers and everything.
Yeah.
Luke wants me
well,
back,
you want me to
though.
go first?
Yeah, I mean, you can hit them with your top
All
5
right.
tier. You want to? Hey, let's do it. Let's do it different this time. You give your number 5. I'll give my number 5.
All right, that's fair enough.
And then we'll bounce back and forth.
Okay. So number 5 for me is Where the Red Fern Grows.
Okay.
That movie was very, very emotional.
Little Dan and Little Ann.
Yeah, Little Ann and Big Dan or whatever it was.
Little Ann and Little Dan. And wasn't it Little Dan that died first?
And then then she died.
She laid on the grave and
yeah,
and died. Yeah. That is sad. That's giving me chills just thinking about it. Little Dan, Little Ann. My top 2 involve dogs. Just to give you a little sneak preview there. I'm a sucker for dogs. I hobby train dogs. I train dogs as a hobby on the side, and just love them. Anything about a poor, defenseless animal as loyal as a dog dying, it just gets me right in the feels. Number 5 for me though, Armageddon.
Oh.
And I know you're thinking Armageddon. That was an action movie.
No,
if sad. You remember,
I know the part you're talking about.
At the end of the movie, when Bruce Willis stays behind on the asteroid and tells Liv Tyler, "I wish I could be there to walk you down the aisle." Ooh, that got me every time. That's some.
Oh yeah.
That's some emotional stuff right there.
NASCAR Ball says when Dorothy got married and she left
Blanche
Rose and Sophie. Oh,
Blanche
Rose from Golden Girls.
Yeah, the ending of the Golden Girls. Yeah.
Dang. Okay. I feel you on that.
That's right. Chris Christopherson narrated Little Dan and Little Ann, Where the Red Fern Grows movie.
Yeah. All right, number 4 for me is Brian's Song. And, it's another football movie, but geez, man. Oh, Brian Piccolo, that just pulled at the old heartstrings there.
What movie?
Say goodbye.
What movie was it?
Brian's Song. Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen it.
It's actually a football movie. It's an older movie. It's about Brian Piccolo, Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
You just have to see it, but it's pretty sad.
I know the story. I just don't think I ever watched the movie, and that makes me sad.
They actually did a remake, probably they did the remake in the late 90s, I think, but watch the original.
Liv Tyler was hot in that movie. Although, have you seen her lately?
Yeah, she looks more like her dad, Steven Tyler.
Yeah, she's starting to look more like Steven. Yeah, she's still a cutie though. But you can tell that aging process isn't going to go well.
Still can't believe he put her in some of those music videos with what's her name?
I know, with Alicia Silverstone. Alicia Silverstone, when I was going through high school, was the hottest thing going. Everybody wanted a girl that looked like Alicia Silverstone.
I think for me it was like Megan Fox.
Clueless came out at that time.
Oh yeah,
that when I was in high school. And all right, number 4 for me, Hardball.
G Baby.
Yeah, when G Baby dies, G Baby. That's probably one of the most underrated sports movies.
Yeah, it is.
And we should have remembered it whenever it came up in our top 5 sports movies of all time. But
Keanu Reeves and the Cucumbers.
Yeah, it was a little bit dirty and grimy, and with the gambling stuff behind the scenes, and it was a little bit inspirational with the T-ball team or the Little League team, and then you had the G Baby dying that made you laugh, it made you cry.
I love it when you call me Big Pop.
That's a really great movie. Hardball with Keanu Reeves, guys. Check it out if you haven't seen it.
And number 3, oh man, Rocky 4. When Apollo Creed dies, oh dude, that sucked.
Yeah. What's the song that comes on after that? Is it
There's no easy way out.
There's no easy way out. He's driving his, what is it, like a Trans Am or something?
It's something like that. Yeah.
That's all of the Rocky movies are great, but it's one of the only series where as one of the only um, movie franchises where as the movies got further along, they just got better.
Mm-hmm.
The original Rocky was great. Don't get me wrong.
I wasn't a big fan of Rocky 5 though.
Yeah, Rocky 5 was a little bit of a fall off. They tried to boost Tommy the Machine Gun. They tried to boost his career with that movie, and he unfortunately died of HIV. Did you know
That's
that?
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he died of AIDS.
He got the HIV.
Yeah, he got HIV, and it progressed into AIDS, and he passed away. But he was an excellent. He was a phenomenal athlete, phenomenal boxer. His career should have gone a lot further. I think he was just a party animal, I believe.
Sounds
Bobby
about
says
right.
we might get a raise.
Nice.
Yeah, a raise from. I mean, he could pay us a penny per show, and that's a raise.
He's gonna give us.
I'm kidding. All right, so my number 3. Everybody ready for this? My
Yeah.
girl.
Damn, those freaking bees.
The bees killed little Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's some sad stuff when she's in the funeral home, upset because he doesn't have his glasses on. Where is his glasses? He can't see without his glasses. Where's his glasses? Thomas needs his glasses. Yep.
I don't think I've ever seen, like, were those like killer bees or what?
No, he was just allergic to bees.
That's right.
He got stung too many times. He went back to find that mood ring, and the bees were still there, and he got overwhelmed by bee stings and died of anaphylactic shock.
Needed an EpiPen.
That's right. Keith Stokes says that Tommy Gunn needed to call Magic Johnson's doctor.
No kidding.
I don't know if Tommy Gunn had Magic Johnson money. That's probably the problem.
That's true as well. Oh, NASCAR Vol says this is the best show on YouTube, so a raise is needed.
I agree. NASCAR hadn't said
comment of the day.
NASCAR hadn't said anything on this show that I don't 100% agree with.
Absolutely.
I'm still liking that Big Dog's comment about pissing on a Gator fan. Why he's not allowed in Gainesville anymore.
Right. Number 2 for me has got to be Hardball. I know we've already talked about it. G-Baby dying.
You just moved him up the list a little bit. I mean, I understand that when G-Baby died, man, that was some tough stuff.
Yeah, it was. What's your number 2 there?
All right, my top 2, like I said before, both involve dogs. If you watched Marley and Me and did not cry when they were putting Marley down, that was you're a hard man. You are a hard man. That show, and that's a true story. That guy that wrote Marley and Me, he was a writer for one of the big the L.A. Times maybe.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah, I think it's the L.A. Times. John Grogan. John Grogan is his name, and that was 100% true story. It was his experience with that dog Marley that he had, and it was really, really sad. I worked in veterinary clinics for about 5 years, and watching dogs get put down is a rough thing to watch, no pun intended. And the condition that Marley had, that GDV, it gets those bigger dogs. Their stomach twists. You can usually repair it once, and then after that, if it happens again, they're almost always going to have to be put down. And I've been in those situations in the rooms with the families whenever we were doing it. when we were doing the euthanasia, and it's just tough. And then that movie just happened. It just hit home, hit different than other movies did. Marley and Me. Go watch it if you need a good cry.
Well, number one for me was Rudy. Rudy was my number one. Yeah, it made me cry when he got the sack.
And, you know that didn't really happen.
I know, and that's what I was gonna say. Now I look at it and I just get pissed off. But as a kid, as a young teenager, oh man, it got me every time. And then when his friends going, "Who's the wild man now?"
Yeah, it always. I guess it didn't have that same effect on me. It didn't make me sad. Excuse me, the beer getting to me. It didn't. It didn't make me sad. It just made me. It's one of those feel good movies. It made me overly happy. Maybe there was a little tear of joy in there or something when I first watched it.
Was for me.
Yeah. It is a great story. The movie is obviously a much more dramatic story than the real life story of Dan Rudiger. But yeah, Rudy's a great movie. It's an emotional movie. It really makes you feel like you're just not doing enough with your life. no matter how well you're doing or how great things are going for you. You watch Rudy and you just feel like you're not working hard enough.
Yeah. Oh, young Frodo played football.
That wasn't Frodo, it was Samwise.
Oh, I mean Sam Wise. Shoot, my bad.
Sean Astin. Sean Astin was I've grown up with Sean Astin all through my life in the movies.
Man.
Because, Encino Man, and if you go even further back, he was in Goonies.
That's right.
He's the lead kid in Goonies. So
One-Eyed Willie.
Yep, hitting his inhaler. Yeah, I grew up with him watching Goonies, and then on into the teen years with Encino Man, and into college with Rudy, and then after college, Lord of the Rings, and I mean he's been in a lot of stuff that I like. He's a good actor.
Mm-hmm.
And then 50 First Dates when he did the roided up brother.
Yeah,
I didn't realize he was a comedy actor. He played that role really good. It was hilarious.
I love Spam and peanut butter cups.
Forrest Gump is the best player Bama's ever had. NASCAR
That is true. He was an All-American.
Rudy is the best player Notre Dame's ever had.
I remember when that 2013 national championship, they had picture of Forrest Gump, and they had a picture of Sean Astin as Rudy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the big matchup picture or whatever. So yeah. Number one for Josh.
Number one for me is going to be Old Yeller.
Oh man, that is a good one.
Yeah. So the first time I ever saw Old Yeller, I was probably 6 or 7 years old, and I'm watching this movie about this awesome, amazing dog. Probably what got me into, which made me what made me such a dog lover in the first place. You're really influential when you're younger like that, or influenceable, I guess I should say.
Absolutely.
And I watched Old Yeller, and I'm watching this happy-go-lucky movie about a boy and his dog, and the dog catches catfish and protects him from bears and saves him from hogs and all that stuff, and survives all of that mess. And then he gets the hydrophobia, the rabies, and then it just gets really dark after that. Old Yeller's in the corn bin growling at him, and he has to shoot him. That was really tough to watch as a kid. It's even tougher as an adult. I've got a 10-year-old son, and probably when he was about 6 or 7 years old, I downloaded Old Yeller for him to watch, and he watched it, and he got a little teary-eyed, and when he got teary-eyed, it made me start sobbing like a baby. I was like, I know, son, it's rough, ain't it? This is horrible stuff. Yeah, it was one of the greatest cinematic moments in all of movie history, when Travis had to shoot Old Yeller.
Yeah.
So we really brought the mood of the show down.
What Kevin Stokes said, Bill Bates was the best player Tennessee ever had, according to Herschel Walker. Well, Bill Bates actually had a better NFL career than Herschel ever did. Just saying. He's like in the Cowboys Ring of Honor. So
Bill Bates was a great.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
I tell you what, you were on Luke Thomas's just.
Oh, that's right. Haas just reminded me. Sean Astin was in Toy Soldiers too in 1991. Have you ever seen Toy Soldiers?
Of course I have. Wait, Toy Soldiers?
Not Toy Soldiers, the cartoon.
I'm thinking of like Small Soldiers.
Small Soldiers, yeah, not that one. Toy Soldiers. It was a 90s movie about a bunch of boys in a prep school. And I think a terrorist organization trying to get one of their leaders released from prison kidnapped or took siege of this prep school, and the idea being that a lot of the kids in that prep school were like senators' kids and congressmen's kids and things like that. So they take over this school and hold it hostage, and they're trying to get this guy released. Sean Astin was one of the main kids in that movie. The kids themselves, and I'm saying kids, they were, seniors in high school, so
yeah,
a little bit older, but they create this plan to take the school back over and rescue themselves. Yeah, there was actually I think there was a sad moment in that movie too. One of the kids got shot while they were trying to pull off one of their plots. That was a great movie. Good call, Hoss.
Yeah. It's time for whack ass traditions.
Yeah, Luke says thanks for the depressing tone, Josh. Well, if you're feeling depressed, one of the best ways to make yourself feel better is to make fun of somebody else. Let's make fun of Ole Miss with a whack ass tradition.
Let's do it. Today's whack ass tradition is in the town of Oxford, Mississippi, at the University of Mississippi, and it is the Walk of Champions. And every game, the team walks through the Walk of Champions, and the crowd is giving them high fives on either side. But you know what's funny? What is so whack about it is it's called the Walk of Champions, celebrating their claimed 3 national titles that they claim. Now, I know a lot of schools like Alabama and Tennessee too, we claim a few national titles that maybe are debatable. But Ole Miss's 3 national championships, they're not even debatable.
Tennessee's claimed national titles that aren't unanimous are their undefeated seasons, though. Am I right?
No, not all of them.
Are like 67. one lost season to
Yeah, I would say with that there's 4 of Tennessee's championships that are undeniable. That's obviously 98. That's 51, 40, and 38. Now 1950 and 1967. You can kind of debate those if you want, but there's still a few of the polls that gave them the nod, but Ole Misses aren't even close, man. They didn't get a UPI vote or an AP vote, nothing at all, even close. They just, the Oxford Times or somebody like that said, they're a national champion in my book. Well, we'll claim it, by God, because we're Ole Piss.
Kind of like Central Florida.
Actually, I'd say Central Florida has more credibility than the ones Ole Miss claims.
Yeah, at least it was an undefeated season, and they did beat Auburn in the Peach Bowl.
Exactly.
And I think Auburn beat Alabama that year, didn't they?
I think so.
Did Auburn beat Alabama and then, or maybe Auburn beat Clemson or somebody earlier in the season? I don't remember. I remember thinking, if UCF beats Auburn with the teams that Auburn has beat, they might have a legitimate claim for a national title, but obviously they weren't playing in the national title game. Ole Miss changes their name more than a Mexican drug dealer.
That's a good point. That is a good point, which which honestly, if you want to, we can just go ahead and throw that in there too. Guess who the trash ass program is?
Who's the trash ass program?
I meant the dumpster fire program. Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ole Miss. And NASCAR is talking about their mascots. Well, it just so happens, NASCAR, that the Landshark Bear Rebels are trash ass program, dumpster fire program of the week. There they are.
Yep.
That horrible shark. You know, Johnny Reb. Without getting too political, I understand why they pushed him to the side and brought in the bear. And is it Johnny Reb or Colonel Reb or what?
It's Colonel Reb.
Colonel Reb, yeah. And they brought in the bear and they brought in the black bear, but there's no black bears in Mississippi. It didn't make a lot of sense to go with the bear. So you hear about this shark. You know, they're bringing in a shark, and you're like, all right, well now there's a mascot that, one, makes sense, number two, will look tough, and they unveil that costume, and I about hit the floor. And it's the worst looking mascot costume in all of college football, and it's not even close.
I guess there's some sharks at the, like Biloxi on the coast,
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's from it's the land shark defense. That's where it comes from.
But they say that there's some black bears down in the Bay Area of Mississippi, down in like Biloxi area and that area.
Florida coach humped a shark. That is not unfactual. Keith Stokes. Luke's got to head out. Let him know when he wins the comment award. Luke, even if you won, buddy, we're not sending you anything. You can't, as an employee of the Volunteer Roadshow, you can't get a prize from the Volunteer Roadshow. We'd have to count it as income. You'd have to pay taxes on the coffee mug. And it's just not a good look. Good stuff, though, General. Thanks for stopping in, man. We'll look forward to seeing you on Tuesday. Talk a little bit of recruiting.
Yes, sir. Well, is it time for General Nealon's 7 favorite memes?
General Nealon's 7 memes. Yeah, I guess we can do that. Unless you want, I mean, is there anything more that you want to say about Ole Miss and why they're the trash ass program, or is it just because they can't pick a mascot?
Well, let's see. Yeah, first things first. We got the better Manning out of the whole deal. Archie was, decent, and he didn't have much of a good NFL career. And Eli, Ole Miss fans kind of do piss me off when they try to say that Eli's the better of the Manning brothers, and it's just ridiculous. Compare their college stats. Okay, Peyton Manning, unanimous. Compare their NFL stats. Peyton Manning, unanimous. It's just not even. Peyton went to a better school because he knew what he wanted to do. He wanted to play in an elite program. Okay, Eli didn't really care. Eli's just kind of carefree, whatever. He went to Ole Miss, and the best thing that he ever did was win a Cotton Bowl. Okay, Peyton at least won the SEC championship.
Right.
So take that and stick it up your ass, Ole Miss.
Haas says Ole Miss should change their fight song to Baby Shark. I think it's like this, isn't it? Baby Shark, Baby Shark.
I can't see. Oh yeah, I can.
It's like your finger and your thumb. I know you can't see me.
I can actually on the tablet. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like this, and then that's like the grandpa shark. I have kids. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. I know that song by heart. It's not like it's hard to know. It's not rich with lyrical content, but I know all the motions too because my little girl makes me do them.
Archie had a good O-line in defense in college. Now in the NFL, you're right, he did not. And I'm not really trying to take anything away from Archie. It's more of Eli that I just kind of, I never understood why so many Tennessee fans were like so hung up on Eli too. Like he played for the University of Tennessee or something. I used to have to remind people, like, y'all know his ass went to Ole Miss, right? He could have came to Tennessee, but he went to Ole Miss. So to hell with him, you know.
Dave, I just pulled up Facebook over there. Dave was talking about when we were talking about the loud stadiums. He said he was at that OU game and it was the loudest he's ever seen.
It was pretty intense. I will say that.
Bernice says my husband and I went to the LSU game and we were told to hold something over our head. They said some of the fans would throw stuff at you, throw bottles at you. Oh, that's horrible.
I've been to Baton Rouge twice.
Everybody talks about LSU, about Death Valley, about how it's such a great experience, even if you're an opposing fan. I didn't know that they would throw stuff at you. I won't go there if they do that kind of crap.
Shoot, man.
I went down to Athens one year and got barked at and stuff thrown at me and everything. The last time I'll go down there.
I like Athens. I have a lot of fun down there.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the girls?
Really had that. Well, I mean, except Vanderbilt, every campus has got, you know, beautiful girls. I mean, I'll say this, and the nicest campus I've ever seen, just as far as just it being real nice, well kept, and is Florida State University. Yeah. I'll say that. And
you know, your favorite sports movie or football movie, The Program. I think they were at Eastern State University, but I'm pretty sure that they were supposed to be Florida State. They were what were they? The Lobos.
They were the Wolfpack.
Wolfpack, yeah. But their uniforms and everything were set to look just like Florida State. I mean, just like it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that they were in a roundabout way representing Florida State University in that movie. All right. General Neyland, 7 memes. Sticking with our theme of mashing on Ole Miss this show, Ole Miss fans be like, but we were hotty toddy. I guess that hotty toddy thing comes from a cheer or something. But
yeah, hotty toddy, gosh almighty, who the hell are we? Flim flam, blam blam, Ole Miss, by damn.
So. But a hottie toddy is what you drink when you're sick. When you got a cold.
Well, I mean, dude, they're Ole Miss fans. They're always sick. They got to watch that garbage ass football team.
Except for the Hugh Freeze years.
Oh yeah.
They beat Alabama twice.
Forgot about those. Well, yeah. A blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
John. He found a nut twice.
Well, that's okay. Sometimes that's the very that's a white squirrel right there.
I don't understand.
Never heard of the endangered Kenton white squirrels in Kenton, Tennessee? They're albino squirrels. Yeah, look them up. They're ugly as hell. They got red eyes.
Oh yeah, and any albino mammal, that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty insane. All right. Moving on to South Carolina. I don't always talk to South Carolina football players, but when I do, I ask for unleaded. Is that the dig at South Carolina for not sending players to the NFL?
No, unleaded gas.
I know.
No. I know. You remember Lane Kiffin made the joke years ago that there was a player that decided to go to South Carolina over Tennessee, and he said, yeah, he'll be pumping my gas one day or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at. The players don't go to the NFL. They end up pumping gas.
Which there's only like one state in the entire country that, like, you can't pump your own gas. They have to have gas station attendants do it.
I think there's 2 now.
New Jersey and Oregon.
New Jersey and Oregon, yeah. I went to Portland, 2010, 2012, something like that, and got a rental car and drove up to a gas station and hopped out and started getting ready to pump my gas, and they came out of that place yelling and screaming at me. Don't you pump that gas? What the heck is going on? You're not allowed to pump your own gas in Oregon. Oh, I didn't know that. It's pretty stupid. Has to do with the unions.
Yeah, I get it.
Oh, gosh, it's awful. All right. Mama said Auburn is mad because they got all that toilet paper and no wins. That's pretty accurate. All that toilet paper.
That's true.
Yep. That's a funny one. I love anything with Bobby Boucher in it.
Absolutely.
I'll just wait until Vandy wins the national title in football. Yeah, that's what you're going to look like. Actually, it probably should just look like this. Just a black screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you are waiting for Vandy to win a national title, there it is. That's it. It's going to be a black screen. Because it's never going to happen. Vandy will never win a national title in football. All right. Go UK Wildcats. Typical University of Kentucky Wildcat fans. I've seen that. I've seen them two boys on Alabama, Georgia. I've seen them thrown at me as Tennessee fans. But those two boys look like they're having the time of their lives. They're probably, running through creeks catching catfish, trapping raccoons and possums, living it up.
Sleeping with their cousin wives and all that good stuff.
Ole Miss cheated to get them wins. That's you're right. They did.
You're not wrong, Hoss. You're not wrong.
You're not wrong. It's better than that damn Rammer Jammer.
NASCAR says it's BVD.
Is BVD watching? He was watching earlier. Did he have to duck out?
I don't know. I hadn't seen his pretty little mouth in here yet, so.
All right. Then we'll take a swat at the Tide here. That face you make when an Alabama fan says anything. Yeah. I mean, that's about all you can do. Most of the stuff they got the wins and the titles to back it up. Yeah. So all you can really do is just roll your eyes like, we get it. You win ball games. We understand. But we're coming, Hoss. You hear that? We're coming. And the seventh meme. Yeah. All right. Seventh meme of General Neyland's 7 memes. Bam. Finally, somebody wearing black and red won a championship in Georgia. Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods. That's right. Falcons can't do it. The Dogs can't do it.
The Braves played in 92, 95, 96, and 99. So, yeah.
Yeah, so they played 5 and won 1, right?
But then we won, yeah. So we won like 17 straight National League East pennants.
Gotcha.
Or maybe it was 14. Hell, I don't know. Something like that. This is kind of beyond ridiculous.
There it is. The 7 memes.
Yep.
What else we got for the kids?
Well, we already went over the trash ass or the dumpster fire. I think we've covered it all. I think that's.
You think we've covered it all, but you forgot what I promised the fans at the end of the show.
Oh, comment.
Well, not just a comment. I promised them we're going to get to see you do the truffle shuffle.
That ain't happening. No, sir.
You're do it for the fans, Carter. Are you going to sit here and tell all of these people who spent this last 2 hours with us, commenting, adding content to the show, giving us love and support, hitting us with the super chats, putting money in your pocket, putting money in your pocket. You can tell them you can't do the truffle shuffle for them.
I ain't taking my damn shirt off.
NASCAR Vol says truffle shuffle in all caps. Do it for the fans. Here we go. Here we go.
All right.
Do it, Carter. He says, do it, Carter. NASCAR.
Can you see me all right?
Yeah, I can see you good. I'm not gonna look. I'm gonna close my eyes, but all the fans can look.
There you go.
Pull that shirt up, boy. That's not how you do this.
I ain't taking my shirt off. Nope. That's
we'll get him.
Gonna get.
We'll get him, ladies and gentlemen, before the end of the show, or before too long in one of these episodes. We'll get him.
I told you we get 50 people in this live chat. I will do it.
I'll make a bet with him, and the punishment will be the truffle shuffle.
Well, then I'm really going to make you do something embarrassing where you're going to hate it.
It's really hard to embarrass me.
Okay.
Really hard. I mean, dude,
shave that beard.
Well, now that is weird. That's hallowed ground. We can't touch the beard. That's where there's a line in the sand right there, and it's right in front of this beard. Oh wait, hold on. No, they didn't get to see it. I didn't have you transitioned over. You're gonna have to do it again.
Oh man, well ain't that just something?
They were still looking at Tiger Woods when you were doing it.
Well, I hate that.
Yeah.
Blame Josh.
No, get up and do it. Do it for the fans. Carter.
Oh, damn it. I ain't taking my shirt off, though. Hold on, I gotta look and see. I'm waiting for it to come on my camera because I want to make sure y'all can see me pretty good.
You're good. If you move just a little bit to your left, you'll be centered up.
Like this?
Yep, there you go. Now hit him with that truffle. Hit him with that truffle shuffle. I'm going to screen grab that and make a GIF out of it.
Of course you will, you ass.
That may be our new show logo.
Lovely. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, he actually did it, Hoss. I didn't have the scene transferred over to where you guys could see it, but I just made him do it again, so you'll see it here in just a second.
All
right. Moving on to comment of the show. I still got to give it to Big Dog.
Okay.
Anytime somebody's talking about pissing on a Gator fan, that's a win in my book. So Big Dog, you won it. Message Volunteer Roadshow on Facebook. If you don't have Facebook, you can send us an email at Volunteer Roadshow or Vols Roadshow. Is it Vols Roadshow at Gmail?
Is it? I thought it was Volunteer Roadshow at Gmail.
Yeah, Volunteer Roadshow at Gmail. Send an email to Volunteer Roadshow at Gmail, and we'll get something out to you. NASCAR, we still got your prize coming too. We're just trying to decide what would be good. Carter wanted to send you a pair of his underwear. I told him that was inappropriate. And
so we're
looking
for you.
I'm thinking we may have Bobby sign an 8x10, or not Bobby, Billy. Did you just take your underwear off?
No, I grabbed them out of a drawer.
All right, so yeah, we may have Billy sign an 8x10. He's got 8x10s of the play, the fumble and stumble play, and he autographs them up for you and everything. We may shoot you one of those. I don't know. We're still kicking it around. What we want to send out. We want it to be something good, but we also don't want to pay $900 for shipping. So
yeah,
we're a small show. Bobby doesn't.
What are we going to get for the
budget.
Big Dog, man? He's not going to want something orange.
Oh, he's getting something orange. He's getting an orange shirt with my face on it. It's going to look like that. Yeah, there you go. Send that to him. Sign it and send it to him, Carter.
Yeah. Hey, look, I found something like, if you guys need some toilet paper, I found you can use this to wipe your butt with. It's basically worthless.
And toilet paper is a hot commodity these days too. So that's
you read
that's
that?
that's a high value. I can see 150. Move it over. Move it to your left. Oh, you. That's the Bags, man. That's Bagwell. That's the man himself. I would call you some choice words, but kids may be watching.
Well,
you want to wrap it up? You got anything else for the kids? So.
We appreciate everybody, of course, as always.
Yes, thank you. Check us out at volunteerroadshow.com. You'll find the links to the show there. Of course, always here on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope. You can follow us on Twitter. Twitter is the Vols Roadshow is the Twitter handle. I'm Josh Griffin _VRS. Carter, what's your Twitter handle?
Alex Carter VRS.
There you go. Don't expect much out of my Twitter though, folks. If you want the goods, it's all right here on Picked Off with Josh and Carter. You folks have a great Thursday afternoon. We're coming into the weekend here. Hope everybody has a great weekend. We'll see you guys on Tuesday when the general is going to join us, talk a little bit about recruiting and more shenanigans from myself and Carter. Love you guys. Go Big Orange.